So Edlia has to go to her subconscious? It's risky, cried Fear. No crap, Sherlock. Yeah, but us emotions can't touch the crystal. So she has to go, replied Disgust. Joy was shaking. She had a nervous smile on her face. Sadness was silently weeping. Anger's flame had stopped now. Fear was fidgeting but not running around. Disgust was standing there, kind of nervous but brave at the same time. What? I'm going, said Sadness. I'll take you there. She looked at me. Whoa, Sadness, we can't just jump in. We have to prepare, stammered Joy. Disgust grabbed some torches, some apples. Where did they come from? I wondered. Finally, a logical question. And a map of subconscious and put them in a small bag. She has a map of the subconscious. That should be everything, mumbled Disgust, cleaning the apples. She gave the bag to Sadness. Her expression was the type of one my mum does when she's concerned. That was horribly phrased. I'm coming too, said Anger, stepping forward. Oh no, you're not, said Disgust, stopping her. Anger groaned. Why? Because genius, the small crowd thing we talked about before, Disgust replied. Anger sighed. Fine. It's not fine, Anger. There are no paragraphs. So, should we go now? I asked. This startled my emotions since I hadn't said anything in a while. If it was me I would have groaned because I don't like to think about you, Eddie. Sadness nodded. We went up the pipe. Everything's ready, isn't it? Where did this crap come from? Not quite. I want Edlia to get the crystal so my attack will be easier. Her subconscious isn't ready yet and they're just about to enter. I don't want to delay. Go and help them. Okay, Lord Lovely. Lord Lovely, ah ha 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 ha. We had to climb down a flight of stairs to get to subconscious. Subconscious was guarded by some mind workers. How are we going to get past them? Go up and ask them, I whispered to Sadness. She shook her head. We can't let them see you or they'll flip out. That's why we had to a blanket over your face while we're going through dream production. What? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. First of all, you never mentioned it at all. Second, I'm pretty sure the mine workers were pointing at you and jeering at you 2 chapters ago. You walked through dream production as well and they didn't care. Third, if there was a blanket over your face, how would you have been able to see anything? I could go on and on about how stupid this is, but I'm only gonna say one more thing. Why a blanket? Why not a mask? This story has no goddamn structure. Anyway, looks like they are moving apart. Sadness whispered back. She pointed at the wind workers moving away from the door. The wind workers? Oh my god, just end me now. Why are they leaving? I thought. Probably because you wore a blanket over your head and it was so stupid they died of laughter. We silently tiptoed across and entered inside subconscious. It was dark inside, and I could hear creepy voices. A shiver went down my spine. Sadness gently took my hand. Is this incest? We moved closer to the voices. I could see outlines of really tall people. My hands starting sweating. Sadness was also sweating. Kind of gross. Sweet home Alabama. Lucky Disgust wasn't here. The people turned to stare at us. They had bulging red eyes and grey clammy skin. Come here, Edlia, they groaned. They were about 3 times my height. Sadness tugged at my shirt and we ran. Luckily for us, we ran right into a giant dead sky. My dog. Damn PTSD much? This way, cried Sadness, and ran and different direction. I think the lack of grammar and spelling is more terrifying than anything in the subconscious. I looked around and noticed the slightly pink walls. Why? Aren't you supposed to be running? Suddenly small sparkly lights appeared on the ground and formed a path. Oh, how convenient. We ran on the path. We passed a man murdering some innocent animals, our apartment on fire, and a few more of those creepy tall people. Finally the path stopped. We reached a dead end. This path is strange. It's usually not here, said Sadness, staring at the path. I know that because I visit subconscious all the time. Anyways, where is the crystal? I asked. Sadness shrugged. I was afraid we were going to have to look around and find it. I climbed of the path and Sadness followed. I couldn't see the crystal anywhere close by. So I moved more away from the path when the crystal fell from the sky and landed in front of me. Ex machina crystal, I guess. What the heck? Well, that's convenient, I said, picking up the crystal. I signaled Sadness over and she smiled. Yay, she said quietly. What is this, My Little Pony? We followed the path back to the exit and went back to HQ. Joy was sitting on a small tattered couch. The spelling is so bad it's good. Anger was storming around, disgust was looking outside, and fear was hiding. Nobody cares. The emotions looked up when they saw me and Sadness. Why, you made it. The yellow emotions stammered. The other crystals were near the controls. I put them together. Joy clapped and her skin glowed a bit. Sadness began to cry. Disgust tossed her hair. Crucial information, that is. Fear came out from hiding and anger grinned. Well, I guess this is goodbye, I said awkwardly. Suddenly I heard a loud noise. An explosion. There was glass everywhere. Fear screamed. Well, isn't this a lovely situation? Called a familiar voice. Oh no. The time had come. Love was here. The conveniences have already been explained. Don't question them. Smile, they were definitely not explained, you idiot. Also, that whole thing about the blanket is still bothering me. This was not making any sense. Fear had fainted and Joy was frozen solid. Anger looked pretty shocked and same with Sadness. Disgust's expression was pretty mixed. The only one smiling was Love. Her dress had a long, black cape attached to it and her hair was cut up to neck height. She had enough time to get a haircut. In her right hand she was holding a white staff with a light blue jewel at the top. I noticed something in her left hand. The crystal. WTF, man, when did she get that? Hello everybody. Oh look, it's my old pal Joy. Love said brightly. The jewel on her staff glowed and Joy was dragged next to Love, floating in midair. Joy squirmed a bit, but she just floated around. No one said anything. Suddenly Anger stepped forward. What are you doing here, Love? Let Joy go and get out of here or I will make you. She yelled, bright orange flames coming from her head. Love simply laughed and the jewel glowed blue and let out a lightning bolt, which sent Anger flying. That didn't kill her. Bummer. Why are you doing this? Sniffed Sadness. Because, my teardrop, Joy took my place, stole my life, and now I'm taking it back. She growled. You guys really should have prepared for this. She literally warned you. Fear squeaked. Disgust shivered. Anger was picking up memories and throwing them at Love. Wait, Anger recovered already? Damn. Love sighed. If you really are so keen, Firebrick, you can join Joy in the memory dome. She said, picking up Anger. I think that nickname is a reference to another Inside Out fanfic of mine. Not gonna say which. A flame burst from her head. Sadness cried even louder. Love smiled evilly. You know what? We don't need the rest of you annoying emotions except for disgust, of course, said Love darkly, as Fear and Sadness joined Joy and Anger. Love put a transparent blue bubble over the floating emotions. Disgust cringed. Let them go, Love. This just plain rude and evil. jealously. Said Disgust. Plain rude, I know, right? Love's face turned to a snarl. I thought we were friends? Love said, waving her staff. Then a smirk came to her face. She looked over at me. I'll make a deal with you, Edlia. I'll give you your crystal back, and as soon as you touch it you will go home. Then me and maybe Disgust will be your die. What? Or if you choose to save your emotions, I'll make them touch the crystal and you'll never be able to go home. Said Love, smiling. If you choose go home option, you'll probably go mentally insane and it won't be curable. If you choose the heroic choice, you'll be stuck here forever, but you won't be mentally insane. You choose. Whispered Disgust. Okay, so, it's a choice between being psycho or literally being inside your own head for all eternity. What will happen to her body? Will she age? I have many more questions, but we'd be here all day if I tried to ask them. Love was eyeing me. Oh. The emotions were pointing at the crystal. I wouldn't be normal anymore if I went home. But if I didn't, then I'd never see my parents, my dog, Jessie, or anyone else. But I'd still have the memories. What would I do? The emotions wanted me to leave. Disgust was either way. Then I had an idea. I pulled Disgust to the side and told her my plan. She smiled. Sounds good, she said happily. Love cleared her throat. We returned. I'll take the crystal, I said confidently. Love smiled and handed me the crystal. She didn't notice my clear plastic gloves. Where did you get those from? That should take you back, said Love. A bright light went on and I dived behind a shelf. Convenient. I think she made the right choice, declared Disgust. Love nodded. Let's remove the others, said Love darkly, hovering them over the memory dump. No, Love. Disgust called Joy desperately. The 4 emotions in the bubble floated down into the depths of the memory dump. Top 10 saddest anime deaths. We shouldn't be seeing them for a while. In the meantime, let's clean this place up, Love said brightly. Yeah, especially the controls, said Disgust. Love nodded and went over to the controls and touched the buttons and smiled happily. What the hell is going on? While she was doing that, I sneaked out from my hiding place and went to the exploded window. Disgust handed me a rope. That she had because nothing in this story makes sense. She winked and tied the rope onto the table of core memories. Supporting the crystal in one hand and grabbing the rope with the other, I breathed in and started to climb down. I heard Disgust calling Love away from me to look at the emotions rooms. I was just past the window and looking down. I could see a faint yellow light and some yelling. Eventually, as I got closer, I could hear voices. I can't believe she ditched us. Well, at least we have lots of room. But then we are going to be forgotten. We'll never be heard from again. Or maybe, Edlia's here to rescue us. Don't be ridiculous, Joy. She's not here. Oh yes I am, I said, looking at the emotions gathered in a circle. All around them were around dark grey memories disappearing. Joy glowed a bit more. But you? How? Asked Fear. I told them the plan. The stupidest plan in existence. How did they know the gloves would keep Eddie from leaving? I want to cry. Come on guys, let's get out of here, exclaimed Joy. We climbed up the rope, finally walking on air again. No, you're walking on rope. As we approached, we heard Love yelling. Why hasn't Edlia woken up yet? Disgust. Love snarled. Disgust smiled, pushing against a large bright light she'd found. Because maybe, she never left in the first place, said Disgust, pointing at me and the arriving emotions. Love growled. Enough games. You thought it was all going to be that easy? Well, it's not, she bellowed, strangling Joy and snatching the crystal. How did she get to Joy so quickly? Joy, you gotta fight back, fam. She smiled darkly. She does smile a lot. Joy choked. Then Joy's hand, controlled by Love's staff, touched the crystal. It exploded into a million pieces. That was it. I was never going home. I was stuck here forever. No, that was not the ending, in case you were wondering. Bummer. There is still 2 more chapters. Spoiler alert. That's a lie. There's only one. We'll be looking at that next time, and trust me, it's a doozy.